Recording started. Here we go. Okay, folks, welcome to the MadPD on the OneNote and Word learning tools from Microsoft. My name is Cal Armstrong, and I'm on Twitter at Sig225, and my contact information is available in the MadPD schedule. And as you can see here, my email address, my Twitter ID. Right now we're in a Skype meeting, and that link will be uploaded to YouTube, so you'll be able to view this on YouTube likely in about an hour once I'm done here and Skype has processed the video. So we're here to talk about the learning tools from Microsoft, and let me share my screen, and then we'll be able to see what I'm seeing. There we go. You should be seeing that now. Actually, I've got my second person sitting up here, so let me make sure that you can see that. Let's move it over. There we go. Loading. So once it's loaded up on the other guy, there, the other guy can see it. Okay, so there we go. So there's my Twitter ID, my email, and down here, the link to the learning tools from Microsoft. That link at the very bottom, the session documentation and examples, is exactly the same OneNote notebook that you're seeing on my screen. And so, of course, if you click inside a OneNote, you come back to OneNote. But if you're in the Google Doc, it will open up into OneNote Online, and you can do exactly in OneNote Online what I'm doing here on my computer. So let me flip over to the Learning Tools tab, and I just want to make a comparison between the two versions of OneNote that I'll be working in today. OneNote Online has the Learning Tools built in. It's free. It only does the reading part. And it's all hidden under the View toolbar. On the other hand, OneNote Windows Desktop, you do have to download it first. It's a free download, just like OneNote itself is a free download. You will have to set up a Microsoft account if you haven't already in order to actually use it. But what you'll find is that you download OneNote, you download the learning tools. At some point along the line, it'll ask you for your Microsoft account. Just type in the email that you usually use when you set up your Microsoft account, and that way you don't have to worry about having yet another email. And then with the Microsoft account, it allows you access to all this stuff. With the desktop version, you get the immersive reader, same as the online version. You also get the dictate. When you go to the dictate button, it will ask you to sign in with your Microsoft or Office 365 account, just because you're going to be downloading languages and voices, and so you want to make sure you get that done as well. So those are your two options: OneNote Online or OneNote Desktop, both free, both requiring a Microsoft account, but again, once you get it done, it's done. So what is the immersive reader? Well, the immersive reader is when you have text on a page, it will read it to you. So there's my text on the page. If I hit the immersive reader, what happens? Well, in order to make it simpler for the reader, it blanks out all distractions. So you notice it takes over the entire page. You don't even have the option to minimize or reduce its size. It takes over everything, gets rid of all the distractions, makes it very simple, white with black text. Or if you want to change it, you can change the way the text looks. You can switch over and go back to, again, high contrast, now black with white, or blue with white, green with white, whatever. Sort of whatever that's going to make it easier for the individual to read. You can change the font, and what I realized as I did this was I should have installed the dyslexic font that Microsoft has, and give you that option as well. I don't think actually I can. I think they've set it just so you don't know there's two font options. So that does surprise me, and I will bring that up in the user voice. You can also change the font size, which of course makes sense. So people with vision difficulties can make the font larger. You can change the spacing between the letters and the lines to make reading a little bit more visible. You can highlight the syllables. So it breaks the words apart into the syllables as the language would naturally break, and you can also highlight the parts of speech. Again, to help the learning reader figure out what's going on with the language. Now, I'm a math teacher, so the actual opportunities for this in class are minimal. What I do use it for is my second language students. When I ask them to do presentations in math class, and we do that from time to time, I will have them put it in here and have it read to them so that when they write something, they can listen and see how it sounds, and also they can practice their pronunciation against what the reader is saying. Which brings us to our last point, is that this is going to be read to me. And down at the bottom of the page, you see this rather large arrow. When I click it, and so you hear it read, and I'll pause it so I don't have to read over top of it. That's up here on the voice, and you can change the voice settings in terms of how fast it's speaking. So I'll speed them up a little bit and then have it hit play. And so that's speaking a lot faster. And then I can slow it down a bit. And obviously that's speaking a lot slower. You can download additional voices, so maybe you don't like the male voice, you prefer a female voice, or as we get down to the bottom, this one actually speaks in foreign languages. So if you have a French voice installed, it will actually speak in a proper French voice, or a Spanish, or a German, or Chinese. So that's the reader within the OneNote desktop. So let's go ahead and exit this. So we'll drop out of OneNote. We'll drop out of the reader and drop back into OneNote. It will do any text it sees on the page and reads it. What's really interesting, and I have to thank Mike Folsom for the example, is that if you take a picture of a textbook and drop the page into OneNote, OneNote will automatically make that into readable text. So if I now hit the immersive reader, it has taken the page that it saw and made it into readable text. And so the only fault it has is this one DED. And if I go back to the text, I see that it's just on the edge of the curve on the picture as he's holding the book open. And we often see that issue with any kind of readable text. So try to lay it as flat as possible. He said he used the Office Lens app, which is available on your phone. And I think Ann Shalilo did a session on it just a couple of hours ago. The Office Lens app, what it does is it activates your camera and takes a picture of anything, a whiteboard or a document, and pushes it into your OneNote automatically. And so we often have kids look at the board, snap their Office Lens, take a picture of it, and pushes it right into their OneNote. So you can do the same thing with text. Anything that OneNote sees as text, the reader can read. So if you wrote neatly on your whiteboard, and they took a picture of it with their Office Lens app and pushed it into their OneNote, they could then read your notes from the whiteboard. So there is that opportunity as well. Okay, so that's the reader in OneNote desktop. You also have the ability to dictate into OneNote. And so here's just some text on the left-hand side, and I'm going to click on Dictate and read the text into the right-hand side. So here goes. The physical features of a region are often rich in resources. Within a nation, mountain ranges become natural borders for settlement areas. In the U.S., major mountain ranges are the Sierra Nevada, the Rocky Mountains, and the Appalachians. Okay, so what it's doing, I thought it was going to go on the right, but it went down to the bottom. It's making into text what I'm saying. It doesn't get the capitalization, and I should likely turn it off because it's now saying everything I'm saying as I'm trying to explain it. There you go, turn it off. Okay, so dictation, we haven't found a lot of use for it at our school, but I could see where perhaps those folks, those students who have difficulty with typing or just want to be able to dictate instead of type may find it useful. But it is really good. I do try to slow my pace of speaking and I do try to enunciate, but it does do a really good job. And also it will dictate in other languages. So from Chinese to Spanish, and I understand that Arabic is on its way, if not here already, because it just might not have updated things properly. So it doesn't just rely on English, but also several other languages. Okay. So that's OneNote Desktop. You have Immersive Reader, and you also have the Dictate tool. Let's flip over into the online version. And again, totally free, accessible on any device. Also, you could do this on a Mac or a Chromebook. So the exact same OneNote notebook that I was doing on the desktop, I'm now going to go to the View toolbar, which is where I find the Immersive Reader, and click on the Immersive Reader. So, same document I had on the original OneNote. I now hit play, and I'll speed it up a bit, just because we've heard all this. So it actually pulls in the correct voice for the language that it finds. So that you don't have to worry about it trying to. So for the French, my Southern Ontario Canadian French accent trying to read Parisian French, it's not going to do that. It's actually going to grab a Parisian speaker and speak the French properly. So they get the exact pronunciation. So this is where it really becomes in handy for second language learners as they listen to the proper pronunciation of the words. It also does separate into the syllables in the appropriate language, rather than try to sort of break it up as English would. So you don't have to worry about the destruction of the second language. And it does the nouns, verbs, and adjectives as well. So that's in the online version. It actually does all the languages without any additional downloads for you. Okay, so that's OneNote online. It does not do the dictate. It only does the reading. But you do have complete control over, and it's accessible on any device that can open up a web browser. So let's go back into the notebook and finish off with Word, either desktop or online version. What I did was I put a Word document, in fact the same Word document we've been looking at inside of OneNote. So this document here is really a Word document that I put in the OneNote, but I put it as a Word document inside of my OneDrive. So again, OneDrive is free for everyone. Word Online is free for everyone. So this is accessible to everyone. You do have to edit the document, so edit in the browser. And the reason you have to edit in the browser is because you need access to the toolbars. Okay, there we go. And again, it's under the View toolbar and Immersive Reader. So we're in Word here, and we hit Immersive Reader. Same thing we've become used to. It goes white with black text, and now we can hit the read again. Exactly the same behavior as as OneNote. And I don't know if you caught that. It actually read the emoticon as smiley face rather than as colon bracket. So exactly as we saw in OneNote Online, we see it being able to switch over into the proper pronunciation for the proper language. And that's Word Online, a great opportunity for either second language readers to have the new language read to them, or second language learners have their target language read to them. So I'm going to stop there. I don't think anyone popped into the room while I was out. Excuse me. And I will stop the recording and post it onto YouTube. Thanks so much, folks. We'll talk to you all later. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to either tweet at me or email me on the address that's on the Google Doc. Thanks very much.